so we're taking the bindings off. You don't want the bindings on tight when you're waxing the board. It's heating up the inserts. When it's tight, can cause deformation. So yeah, first thing we're gonna do is take the bindings off the board. All right, now with the bindings off the board, we're gonna flip it over and use a brass brush. This will help clean out any of the dirt and debris that has gotten in the snowboard from last time we rode it before we bake some more wax into it. So now with the brush, we're gonna do strokes down the board from nose to tail, going along the way that you would ride the snowboard for the most part. Well, this is a directional board. Between boards you can ride switch, but it's a Jones Free Carver 6000, so definitely not really riding this one switch. Next, gonna take Scotch-Brite Brillo pad. Just gonna clear off all the stuff that we just got off the base. Next thing you do is you're gonna heat up your iron. Mine has a digital temperature gauge on it. Each wax will have a different temperature setting. So you just gotta look at the box. I've been using this One Ball J wax. It's just all temp wax, smells good. I've always done good with this wax over the years. It's not too expensive either, and also smells good. So I'm currently setting this at 138. Seems to be good, melts it good without getting it too smoky. I waxed quite a few snowboards, and I'm sure breathing in the fumes and dust particles are not very good. So I use an apron. Also helps keep the wax off the clothes and everything. And I also wear this N95 mask. Now that the wax iron's almost up to temperature, how I like to wax my snowboards is I will touch this to the iron and then chalk it on the base. I find that that's pretty good overall. Gets a lot of wax on, but not too much, because then you're just wasting it and scraping it off. So I find that's worked out well over the years. Alright, now that the base is covered with wax, it'll look something like this, chalked on. Some parts have a little bit more than others, little drips from just touching the wax on the iron over and over again. So now what I'll do is start here, just let it heat up the base, and just go down the whole length of the board, starting on one edge, go to the middle of the board, and then to the other edge until every spot has been heated up and melted into the base. Alright, now that we've got the board, all the wax ironed on, probably just going to let it sit overnight. It's getting late here. Normally let it sit for a couple hours, let it cool down in the board, and then scrape it off. But tomorrow we'll scrape it off and go through the brush out process. Alright, so it's the second day. The board is dried with wax, so now we got to scrape the wax off, and then we're gonna brush it out. So I'll show you guys the process of that. But first, we are gonna put on the apron and the mask. Alright, so first things first, we got our scraper here, and for each time that I scrape the wax off the board, I have a scraper sharpener that I'll run this through, which will sharpen the edges and make scraping the wax off significantly faster and easier. So I'll show you what that looks like. Alright, we got the scraper sharpened, and now I use this C-clamp a lot of times. And so what I do here is on the stand, I'll clamp it to the base of the board like this. These are soft rubber, so it doesn't hurt the snowboard. But that way when I'm scraping and pushing a lot, it doesn't negatively affect the board by sliding it off and hitting the ground. Back in the day, I didn't do this, and the boards will fall off the stand if you're not careful. So now I did most of the board from like right about here and then nose all the way to the tail here. So now I'm just gonna get this last little bit. I flipped the board over because I have my wax box here. I'm just trying to keep it as clean as possible in here. So now we'll finish it up. Now we got all the wax scraped off. I'm gonna again hit it with this brass brush, just get a little bit of the excess wax off of it, and then use a Brillo pad to clean it up. And then after that, we'll hit it with the roto brushes and get it really cleaned up and riding real fast. All right, I brushed it out with the brass brush and then hit it with the Brillo pad, cleaned it up. So the next step, we'll be using the drill here. And then there's two different brushes. First, we are going to hit it with a nylon brush, which is a little bit harder. And then secondly, we'll hit it with the horsehair brush, which is a little bit softer and will further polish the base. All right, now that you're going over it twice with the nylon brush, we're going to switch it over and hit it twice with the horsehair brush. All right, my last step is I have this roll of stuff called Fiberline. It's just fibrous material used for waxing skis and snowboards. But what it'll do is it'll grab the last little bit of wax particles on the base, get it nice and clean. And we are now done waxing the snowboard. Hopefully it'll be super fast. Park City Mountain opens on Friday. Hopefully be able to get out there for the end of the day. But hopefully we'll be able to bring out this board and test out and see how it rips.